everyone. I am Sarah Potter with the Plutus Foundation here talking with my lovely guests today about how to leverage TikTok and Instagram. Our first guest is Martin Dasko. Martin has been writing about personal finance for 12 years now and helps make money fun since life's already stressful enough. We also have Candice Latham. She is by far one of my favorite video creators. She's been doing some really awesome creative things on YouTube and has been in the personal finance industry for a very long time as well. And we have Katie from Debt Free Phoenix. She's a technical communicator and social media content creator. Essentially, all of us here tonight have been doing social media stuff for such a long time. We're basically experts and are ready to discuss TikTok and Instagram and how to use it effectively. So before we begin officially, for those of you who aren't sure what Instagram is a social media marketing tool that focuses on utilizing imagery, videos, Instagram TV, Instagram stories, and different video image-based ways to market your content. It's a very interesting platform for those who might not be sharing it or might not be working on it. And it's also a really fun, innovative way to create a community. Now, TikTok, which is the other platform we're going to be talking about, is a relatively new social media platform. It's only been around via a stable release since March of this year. So it has blown up. And I, for one, am someone who's a little hesitant to jump into TikTok. It's basically a Chinese video sharing social networking tool. And you do a bunch of different random things on there that I don't quite understand myself, aside from the really white moms doing terrible dancing on it that I have seen so far. So let's dive right into our discussion and let's talk about how you guys are using these platforms right now. Who would like to start?
So I can, absolutely. So cool. So I use TikTok primarily to create content for my Instagram and also to create series on the actual app of TikTok as well. So TikTok actually started out as Musical.ly back in the late 2010s and then transitioned into TikTok, and it kind of became its own ecosystem. So what I primarily do is I actually split between what I create and what I share on Instagram. So a lot of my comedy, personal finance skits, I've been told I've created budget TikTok on TikTok, which is funny. And it's just a way to create new kinds of content for your audience that just kind of breathes, a breath of fresh air into the content that you're creating.
So I've used every platform for video, and like YouTube is impossible to get good at. I mean, it takes forever to get good at. I've fallen in love with Instagram TV and TikTok because it's so raw and it's so easygoing. So I do a lot of videos, and I'll usually put a video up on IGTV. And the beauty about TikTok is it's actually one of the best editing tools out there. So you can take a clip of your IGTV, which usually gets a lot of views because Instagram wants you to stay on there. You put that on TikTok and you put some like funny, you can do repeat, you can do slow motion, you put some funny touches on it, and that makes it suddenly cool for TikTok. And then you get this 5-minute video turns into like 10 different clips. And then if the clip is good enough on TikTok, I put it back, like Katie was saying, I put it back on Instagram. And then it's like a cycle. And that's how I've been using both.
That's kind of how I've been seeing people using it too. And Candice, I know you commented on one of my posts on Instagram today about how having an open mind about new platforms is really important. How are you utilizing these two platforms together or separately?
Yeah, so I feel like I've been avoiding TikTok for a little while. So just because I knew I was doing this panel yesterday, I just posted a random video yesterday. So I added some music in the background, and I kind of just shared, like, documented my own money journey with like the different words and then just like making different facial expressions. And then I checked it today and I had like 144 views. So I was just like, oh, wow, I wasn't even expecting that because I don't really have that many followers on there. So right now I'm kind of using them as different platforms. I'm mostly on Instagram and I use IGTV. I'm kind of just taking like a shorter clip from my YouTube videos and then posting on IG.
I think one of the ways that, a lot of the more expert level marketing strategists or even just content creators for specific niches are doing is cross promoting some of their content from other platforms as well. And that is something that I definitely encourage a lot of people to do. Now, when you have a YouTube channel, getting that video out to as many places as possible is really important. But when it comes to deciding whether you want to focus on getting more viewership on your TikTok or more viewership on your IGTV or your YouTube outside of that, how do you guys decide which one is going to be more important? And with your little bit of information that you just mentioned, Candice, like having 144 views on a brand new video using TikTok for the first time, like that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was really shocked that that's how many views I had. I just chose a bunch of different hashtags that I thought would relate to the video. And then, so yeah, I just turned it off. And then today I randomly checked and I'm just like, wow. So when it comes to like, which is more important, views or followers, it's kind of tough because, well, yeah, I don't have a lot of followers on TikTok. Maybe I have 13 people following me. And so in that instance, it's like, oh, that's great that 144 people found me. I hope that if I continue to be consistent, that they do become followers. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was a tough question for me too. I'm interested in hearing what other people have to say.
Are you asking about are views more important than followers?
Are views more important than followers?
Yeah, well, the beauty about TikTok is that it's easy to get views. Like, it's like, when we first started blogging, like Google, we started writing in Google, it takes forever to get ranked. So from the point of you publishing to somebody seeing your content, it could be weeks or months. TikTok, sometimes you post something and you get the right hashtag, the right sound, and the timing just works out. You can get like a couple 100,000 views. I had one video get 500,000 views, and that's a lot of views. And I mean, obviously you want the followers, but a view hopefully leads to a follower. And the beauty about TikTok is that you can connect your Instagram and your YouTube to your TikTok. So people come to your profile and they come over to your YouTube. So obviously you want followers everywhere, right? So you want to get the views on TikTok and leverage that to get TikTok followers and then YouTube followers and then Instagram followers.
500,000 views. That's incredible. So you would definitively say, like working towards more viewership does lead to follower-based growth. So they're getting more, you're getting the same consistent eyeballs in front of your content.
Well, that's the goal. And on YouTube, it's a lot tougher to get followers, right? People are not so easy to follow. But on TikTok, it's new enough and it's raw enough that like, you can honestly be like, right now, we can take a clip of this and someone will see it, be like, oh, that's an interesting discussion. And you can put that on TikTok and get lots of views. And it's just so raw. Like the video that got 500,000 views was me in Costa Rica. So I was in Costa Rica. I got a video of a bunch of crocodiles sorry, my accent, a bunch of crocodiles in the water. And then beauty is it shows you what's trending, right? So I saw that like animals or something was trending. So I just put that, I already had this video. It's already there on my phone. So I put this video up. I just put your phone falls in. Are you jumping in to get it? So like, and I tagged like, cell phone animals and it got all those views. And I mean, it's pretty easy in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, that's so effortless in comparison to Instagram, where I find you're often like creating and formulating a hypothesis as to how many hashtags are going to get you an X number of views and what kind of caption you should be writing, and really like focusing on the science behind Instagram, where like, I think you had mentioned in the beginning, TikTok is just more raw and real and like fast moving and fast paced. And that's awesome. Really quick, we do have an interesting question from our audience. How do you avoid getting shadow banned on TikTok? Now, I've heard of shadow ban and have dealt with shadow ban on Instagram, but I haven't heard of it on TikTok. What about you guys? Katie, do you have any experience with that?
No, I think shadow banned is a word that a lot of people use to describe a lot of different things. The TikTok algorithm, it moves so fast because the amount of content that people are producing and consuming on the app, it's just so like, it's almost terrifying because there's just so much coming in and going out. So there are ways, like obviously you don't want to get a warning from the TikTok administrators. They're just like any other app administrators. But for getting banned, shadow banned, all depends on the algorithm. I personally don't think shadow banning is a real thing, but I also believe that it could be, and that it's just a word that's used for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do outright give you warnings. Like one time I was just joking around and made fun of hemp oil, and like they blocked me for 2 weeks for that, which is very strange because see like teenagers talking about partying and things I can't even say that they do. And then I just jokingly made fun of hemp oil or some oil. My mom bought some oil. I was just joking around and they blocked me for like 2 weeks. They sent me this stern message. So I guess if you make fun of hemp oil, you're in trouble.
I guess so. Maybe they're pro hemp oil or something, which totally fine. Can you be too old for TikTok? Like, Candice, tell me about some of the reservations that you've had. Was it like, do you I feel like I'm too old for TikTok. Like,
yeah, I just felt like it was for super young people or for people who are dancing. I was just like, I don't really want to be dancing on TikTok. But then I just started seeing more people using it and just having a good time. So I was just like, oh, maybe it doesn't matter the age.
Martin, what are some of the things that you've encountered on TikTok in terms of age? Like, do you tend to see that younger people are engaging with you, or is it older, or is it just a general mix of people?
So I'm at a weird age. I'm in my early 30s, but I kind of look youngish. So I have a lot of younger friends and I have a lot of older friends. And the one thing I need to stress is that you don't have to dance on TikTok.
Thank God.
Like, first of all, we're not young enough or like hip enough. You know, if you're like 18 and you know the cool dances, then yeah, I guess that could work. But in my 30s, I have 2 left feet. It's not going to happen anytime soon. But what I've noticed is that it's like Facebook. A lot of people have made this comparison. It started off for college students, Facebook. And like, there's no old people on there, right? Like old, people in their 30s.
Boomers, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But now Facebook is like for my parents, Now I avoid Facebook because my mom's on there sharing memes all day. So yeah, of course, yeah, it started young, but it's getting older. And now the beauty is that there's so many older people are afraid of it. The ones that did get on it are really doing well. And one thing that does well is like owning like a niche or like a gimmick. Like there's a lot of cops on there, a lot of like lawyers and like accountants. Like there's a psychologist like in the 70s, and that's just his thing. He's the psychologist, and he just gives advice to young people. So
Power to that guy.
No age limit.
That's awesome. Katie, you mentioned that or people have called you the first budgeting queen of TikTok. So for you, like, do you feel like there are some people who relate more to your content that are older or younger? Or like, are you experiencing the same thing as Martin, where like there's no age gap other than like our parents are not on there?
So I think this is a really great question. I think I want to start out by saying people are so hungry for personal finance content on TikTok. They are so hungry. Like the majority of the views that I get from my videos, yeah, my comedy skits, they do fine, budgeting humor, people like it. But the ones that really get a lot of views and a lot of likes and a lot of comments are when I record myself paying off debt with a debt tracker. People are obsessed with those videos, and they're just so hungry because it leads to a different conversation. When somebody comments, they're like, oh, I love that chart, where did you get it? Or, oh, I want to start paying off debt. How do you start? And so this TikTok that I created just to make comedy skits from, I am now like having to share budgeting 101 tips, because it's just everybody across the board. They're obsessed with personal finance. They just can't get enough of it. And I've seen moms, dads, college kids reach out to me about their student loans. Like it's just a plethora of people, and they're all hungry for personal finance content on TikTok.
That brings us to a question that we have from the audience too. Like, is TikTok worth your time? I feel like the obvious answer is yes, it is totally worth your time. But more specifically, like, how long does it take to learn TikTok? Is there such a thing as like having high quality content in order to be successful on TikTok, or does that really matter right now?
Well, like YouTube, for example, it takes forever to make a YouTube video. Like you have to make it has to be pretty much professional. Like if your YouTube video, it doesn't have like high quality mics, high quality cameras, editing, like text in it, proper keyword research. But I've done all that, and it still gets 18 views sometimes. So TikTok, the learning curve is it happens quick. It happens quickly. You can honestly get on there, spend an afternoon, learn how to edit. Like, yeah, there's a lot of filters and a lot of songs, which might take you a while. Like you're never going to master all the filters and all the different like slow motion and repeats. But I mean, if you already have the videos, why not just slice them up to little pieces and put them up for a different audience to consume your content? And if you do stand behind your content, you know, you owe it to the people on TikTok to let them have it.
That's a really good point. Now, like, what happens if you post something that people just super hate on and you get a bunch of trolls? How do you deal with the negative response to that content? I mean, trolls happen everywhere, but with TikTok being so new and fast paced, like, how do you deal with the trolls?
It's kind of strange when a guy talks smack to you and you check his profile and they're like 12 years old. Like they're born in 2008.
Oh my God.
One guy was talking smack and I think he was born in 2011. I'm like that was a couple of years ago. I mean, I don't know. You got teenagers talking smack to you. How you deal with that however you want. I mean, I try to ignore it. Obviously, it doesn't look good to fight with a kid. But so like recently I talked about like intermittent fasting and fitness, and I had you shouldn't be fasting if you're a teenager. Anyway, some teenager took my advice. He's in high school and he lost like 40 pounds. I was like, wow, it's kind of cool, kind of weird. I don't know.
Wow. Katie, do you get a lot of negative responses? I mean, when you're dealing with personal finance content specifically outside of like comedy and fun stuff, you know, there are a lot of people who can make a ton of really rash judgments. Do you have any of those happening on TikTok, and how do you deal with it?
So that's another good question. So recently I had to make a TikTok video. As I stated previously, I make a lot of videos about paying off debt and, you know, our personal finance. And recently my husband and I made the choice to buy a brand new car, which of course we went into debt for. And I was very hesitant to post a video sharing that we had gotten this car. And I had a little bit of a reason to feel that way, because even though there were tons of comments that were so understanding and generous and just super sweet, I did get a lot of other comments of people saying, well, you should change your name because this doesn't feel like a debt-free Phoenix thing, or I would never have made that choice. And I think what fuels that is there is a little bit of you can kind of be anonymous on the website if you want to be on the app. And I think a little bit of that anonymous status and not really knowing who the person is, because most people's profiles are blank. I feel like there are a lot more watchers than creators on TikTok right now. So a lot of people will use that in anonymity and come onto your profile. They'll, you know, either be a troll or somebody that doesn't agree with you, and they'll leave comments. And of course, you can always delete whatever you see. You don't have to allow anything on your profile. Sometimes people are upset. And for me, it's always a good idea to approach them in a gentle spirit and just be like, hey, I understand that this video upset you. I'd love to talk to you about that. Or is it this? Or I would just love to see if you're actually upset, or is there something else going on. So I try not to ever take any negative comments at face value, but I have encountered that before. And if it's just too bad, I just delete and block, because there's just no time for that.
Agreed. I think that's just like something that we all do in a general sense when it comes to content we create, content we're managing, social media posts, all of that. Like, don't directly engage with the people that are going to be negative and angry about it. You just need to provide positive reaction, or even just a positive feedback to that person. And if they're like, your content's stupid, I don't like it, then, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. If there's any other content that you'd be interested in, I'm happy to take that into account as to what I produce next. And with the
I also want to just add that there were more comments of people saying, wow, the honesty, the transparency, this means so much to me as someone on my own personal finance journey, or someone looking into personal finance. It's very much the losses mean just as much as the wins do. People need to see you going through an actual journey. So I do think there's a lot of positivity still on the app.
Yeah. And I think like even bringing this conversation more onto Instagram now too, like having positive experiences, sharing great personal stories that are both like raw and emotional, but also like fun and happy, really is an integral role that needs to be integral piece of strategy that needs to be incorporated on both platforms, especially with Instagram. Instagram has become so much more story-based, I feel, and so much more focused on like design, which brings us to a question that we have for Candice specifically. What are your top design mistakes that you're seeing on Instagram? And I mean, so far on your on your one day on TikTok. Like, I know, like when I see Instagram, TikTok videos, I'm like, looks like an Instagram story. I don't know how I feel about that. So you being the video and content queen here, what are some mistakes that you're seeing, and what should people be avoiding?
Yeah, so when it comes to like IGTV, I feel like some mistakes people might be making, and even Instagram in general, is just you don't have to create content from scratch every time. Like I try to get into the habit of creating like templates for myself, whether that's using, Photoshop, or you can even use Canva, or even just video templates too for like the IGTV. So that every time I'm not starting from scratch and having to choose the background color, choose the fonts, and also just like, having some kind of like brand template or brand guidelines that you're following keeps you on track too. Because now every time I sit down, I know what fonts I'm using, I know what colors I'm using, and now I have these templates. So that makes things super easy. When it comes to IGTV, I always feel like make this font size a little bit smaller, because I find that sometimes when I go to post it live, the font ends up being bigger than it actually is. So always, when in doubt, just make the font size a little bit smaller when it comes to your IGTV videos.
I tend to cringe at the large oversized text. It's drives me insane anywhere on any platform. So when it comes to TikTok, like Martin, you were talking about like editing and how you can edit directly in the platform. Are there some design faux pas that you're seeing on TikTok, or is it anything goes? Is it the wild, wild west on TikTok versus Instagram?
So I don't want to be that guy. I can't say something doesn't work, because it does work. Like it's like every rule you thought you knew about social media goes out the window on TikTok. Like I follow this fitness model from around here, and then we have each other. Anyway, I have her on Instagram. We follow each other on TikTok, and I saw she was live. She was just sitting in her room eating, like nothing important. But apparently, when you go live, you collect donations, and people just give you money. So it makes no sense.
What?
That's insane.
TikTok, so you can go live, and like, of course the goal is to go live and like, to give advice, like, do like a panel or like some sort of like, seminar. Some people just go live and eat or just show their day. There's a magician who just goes live and just talks about magic. So I don't want to say something doesn't work on that app, because I got a buddy on there, my buddy Cadman. I got him on one weekend. He's like, oh, this is stupid. He posted a video of him on a roller coaster. True story. He got like 2 million views. And he has like 5 times more followers than me. He hasn't been on the app since. It drives me crazy. I'm on there every day trying everything, different angles. And this guy has, I forget what he's at now. I think he's close to 20,000 followers. And he's like, yeah, it's lame. I just don't use it. I'm like, can I have your account? So I don't know.
Your account.
Everything works, and I don't know.
That, you saying, can I have your account? Like, that is such an interesting concept and question too. There are so many people that I've met in the industry who create Instagram accounts, and maybe TikTok accounts now too, where they're building them to sell them for sometimes like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So let's talk a little bit about making money on Instagram and TikTok. Like you said, with the donation part of TikTok, like that's insane to me. It reminds me of Periscope from when it was streaming on Twitter, and people would do the most random things ever and get tons of followers and make tons of money doing absolutely nothing. So like with Instagram TV versus TikTok, how do you leverage the ability to make money on those platforms? What are you guys doing?
I'll go first. I just use both platforms to build my brand. So you guys know me from personal finance, but I also I love fitness and finance. I try to separate them. But I found that IGTV and IGTV and TikTok make it easy to connect with your audience. So I just get people into my web, into my, whatever you want to call it, your platform, your business. And then I try to get them to my websites and just pay for coaching, or I sell advertising. And recently, actually, I started getting more companies reaching out to me for sponsorships. One company asked me to review their product, and unfortunately, I didn't like their product, so they paid me not to post the review. So yeah, so I'm just using it to get people into my world.
So I can go next. I think the main selling point about TikTok is once you reach 1,000 followers, you get a URL placeholder in your bio. And that is, to me, like in-game golden ticket. Like that's what you work for. Because then you can put a link tree in that bio, or you can put your website like Martin said, or you can do anything that you want. For me, I have a link tree, and I have the ability to accept coffee money from people. And I've made TikToks about, hi, do you like my content? Would you like to buy me a coffee? And people are very generous, obviously, and they give me coffee money just to continue my content creation.
Gosh, man,
Wow, I love that. I need to get, get started again on TikTok. I need to upload more videos.
I'm in the same boat as you, Candice. Like, seriously, I'm like, what am I doing with my life right now? I need to drop Instagram and get on TikTok.
I know. Well, yeah, for me, primarily, I'm on Instagram, but soon, who knows? I might have to go on TikTok more. I just try to keep in mind, like, what are my main products that I'm trying to promote for that month? Like, and that way I'm like creating content around kind of my main products that I want to promote or that during that month. So like whether that's one of my digital products or whether that's, my coaching or, I also have a design agency too. So yeah, I just try to think in mind, like what products and services do I have, and just keep that in mind when I'm creating content. And so I know where I'm sending people.
This brings me to another point too. Like whenever I talk to a new client, or I'm talking with myself sometimes even about creating content or focusing some of my goals on my platforms towards making more money, the idea of, God, this feels so like cheesy and slimy and not authentic. How are you guys focusing on, or how are you guys implementing authenticity into your goals and how you create content based on those goals?
I'll go first. I just don't promote things you don't believe in, and don't say things you don't mean.
Truth.
I'm not that big on motivational quotes. I think it's kind of corny. Like some people are just, their whole feed is just like quote after quote. I just tell my truth, and I talk about my side hustles, how I get in shape, stay in shape. And 99% of my content is free, and it works. I had a guy message me today. He goes, I can't afford anything. I guess he has no job, but he said that I just lost all this weight. Thank you. All that's good stuff. So, and 99% of my stuff will always be free. Just like any blogger, your best material will be free, and the 1%, you got to make some money eventually.
True. Katie, how about you?
So I live by this one rule of create content that you want to see, because somebody's waiting for you to make that content for them. And I think that's why when people come across my comedy, my budget humor videos, and they go, budget TikTok, I've been looking everywhere for you. Like they are looking for that content. They want to see it. They want to consume it. And I think another thing to think about is if you are going to market something on TikTok, I have seen people make money in the most just interesting ways. Cosplayers get their entire costumes paid for by their fans. Etsy shops sell out because they share the products that are in their shops currently. Like it's just being authentic to you, your brand, what you stand behind, and the content that you want to see.
I think that's a pretty tried and true, like just perspective on how to make money using social media, like just at all. There are a lot of people who will tell you that you need to have content that is free, that you can give away, or giveaways or white papers or whatever ends up working for you. Even an Instagram photo filter that you can use in Lightroom. Like, please don't make me pay $25 for a stupid filter. Just give it to me. Like, it's not hard to make. And a lot of people just don't seem to understand that you don't have to force people to pay for your stuff on social media. They want free content. And when they're ready to convert into a buyer and a constant subscriber to your channel via paid or whatever, like they will make that decision. And it's up to you to continue to entertain them and provide value in their lives. If you're not providing value, what are you doing then? So let's move to my next question. How can these platforms help your current audience? And I think that's kind of it's a pretty broad question. So more specifically, how can utilizing Instagram TV, let's talk about that for a little bit. How is using Instagram TV going to help an audience? Or how can you utilize the platform to do so?
Yeah, I think it's just thinking back to your ideal person that you're talking to. I think first trying to create like some kind of avatar about who is this person that you're trying to reach in the first place, like what are their pain points, what are their struggles, and then like having empathy too during whatever season you think they're going through, and then just trying to create content around that that's going to help solve their problem. I mean, people want to hear about your story, but at the end of the day, it's like, what's in it for me, you know? So you always have to keep that in mind. Like, okay, how is this helping other people? Is what problem am I solving for them? And then, yeah, I think that makes it a little bit easier when you're trying to create content for any platform.
For me, for example, if I post about like, you know, a workout I've been doing or you know, a side hustle, I just go through the comments and I see what the questions are like, what the comments are like. And sometimes it's a quick comment, like, you know, what's the best rep or what's the best angle, what's the best, you know, tack software. So it's quick. You could do it in 15 seconds. Other times, you know, you get the same question over and over again. You figure that's an IGTV. So I'll make an IGTV, and then you know, those people are obviously going to share it and appreciate it. And if one person's dealing with it, chances are, if you know your audience, a lot of other people are dealing with it. So then they'll share it out, and then you have that one clip on IGTV, which you can put into your stories, and then you just take a clip, put it on TikTok. So now this question that you may have thought was so basic, but so many people just didn't know the answer to is now all over, and you're helping your audience.
Yeah, that tends to be kind of what, at least my experience on Instagram as well. So I think like really the answer to everyone's TikTok question and whether you should donate any time to it is hell yeah, do it. Now, like when it comes to getting back to like helping your current audience, what are some like topics that you should stick to with your Instagram TV? Let's just focus on the topic of, or the niche of money. What are some topics you should dive into more deeply when it comes to your Instagram TV with personal finance? And should you stay away from politics or should you get into politics? I think the answer might be like, know your audience. But for those who don't know their audience, where should they take the leap into first? Oh, politics might scare. Is politics scary?
Yeah, I think that, like, you know, when everything in the world was going on, you know, all the riots and the protests, I think that everyone was just trying to wonder if they should jump in. Should I say something? Should I not say something? Is this related to money? I'm a personal finance expert, or I just run a business. I just want to help people with their money. But I think that it is related, you know, because I think even me as a Black person, if I'm supporting a brand, I want to know, like, do you care about me, the person? Like, sometimes it's hard to separate it because it's like, yeah, I just want to help people with their money. And that's just politics. That's politics. But like, literally, if I'm like on the street and you're there and and something's happening to me and you don't want to help me, like, that's important because now my life is on the line. So I feel like, yeah, I think you should speak up.
I hesitated because I live in Canada and I'm from Europe. My family's from Europe. So a lot of issues, I don't live in America. So like so many things I don't know anything about. Like I'm ignorant. Like I try to do my research. So in that case, I try to share resources to other people that know better than me in that case. So that's actually my general motto about topics. If you don't understand something, point people in the direction of others that do. Because then you look stupid if you just blindly start sharing memes. And you know, now with all this COVID stuff and all this political stuff, people are sharing like nonsense memes and fake news. And I don't know what's real, what's not. So I try to point people in the right direction and I stick to my money topics.
God, memes brings up such a good point. You know, I think there were so many memes going around, like when you mentioned, Candice, all of the craziness and all of the important movements that began in June. And so many memes came out of that. And some of them were relevant and some of them were just completely disgusting and irrelevant. Should we be involving memes in any kind of our personal finance discussions on social media, or should we be staying away from it? Like there are some people who do it really well. And there are also people who I'm just like, why? God, stop, please.
Well, I have to say, if we don't do personal finance memes, then I'm out of the job because I make a lot of those. And a lot of my TikToks, they're actually inspired by memes that I see, or I think, oh, this would be funny as a meme in a video format. Because a lot of the budget humor videos that I make are between me and my husband, because I'm a saver, he's a spender. Naturally, that causes conflict within our marriage. And I love to share that. And a lot of people will watch that skit and wives will comment on my videos, oh my God, this is literally what I deal with every day. And it's so funny. I think it just provides an avenue that I think you should always find the humor in a situation. And I think that it creates a really great method of communication. So it's great when wives comment on my videos like, this video is hilarious, but also how real is this? So I think I think there is a tactful way that you can combine humor and memes with personal finance, because it's just a way that another person can connect to personal finance.
Yeah, I think like even diving deeper into that, like, again, going back to know who your audience is. If memes work for your audience, then just go for it. That's great. Continue doing that. But then there are people like this question here that say like, finance content is intensive and deserves more than 15 seconds. Doesn't that make Instagram serve your audience better versus TikTok? Thoughts? Just put that in the mixer for you. Tell me what you guys think.
Well, when I said memes, I was referring to like people spreading like those fake news memes. Like it was getting crazy with like coronavirus, and people are like, "Oh, it's been proven that masks kill you." It's like, shut up! Like all these dumb like memes.
Yeah.
But 15-second clips. I mean, not everybody wants to watch a 10-minute video on stocks and real estate. You know, sometimes like I have a short attention span myself. I'm not gonna lie, I can't watch a long video. Like when someone sends me a link to a 20-minute video, I'm like, what do you want me to do with this? Like it's gonna take me like 10 days to watch this. I'll watch 2-minute clips. And when we can't tell somebody how to consume content, you know, a lot of people want short clips, and what are you gonna say no?
So another thing is you actually can create longer videos on TikTok. You can go up to a minute. So it's not just we're not Vine. It's not 6 seconds every video. We do have the ability to film up to 1 minute. And I do find myself when I am giving like budget 101 tips or student loan, secrets, those are 1 minute videos. But at the same time, Martin's right. I can usually only hold someone's attention span for 1 minute. And I have to make sure that I am communicating as thoroughly and as effectively as I can in that 1 minute about my topic that I've chosen for the video.
Candice, how would you recommend someone who is so used to doing like a YouTube format video that's 10, 15, 20 minutes long? What are some tips that you would give to someone to adapt their content and the way that they're sharing their message for Instagram?
Yeah, I feel like if you have like a 5 or a 10-minute video, I feel like a lot of times when we're creating videos, we have like maybe five tips on if you're doing like a YouTube video. So just try to take like one of those tips. Like what's the one tip that you're going to take away, and how can you bring that one tip over to TikTok in a 1-minute clip? Just trying to think about a fun way of how to just take that content and just shorten it down. When I'm still learning TikTok myself, and what I realized from this panel is that you guys are kind of using, content that you already have. And for me, like I've just been creating content from scratch just for TikTok. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know I could repurpose my other videos and then just, upload them to TikTok. So that might save me some even more time.
Well, TikTok has also taught me to talk in sound bites. So like when I do a YouTube video or like an interview, like I remind myself to do like a summary at the end. So for example, let's say you do like top 5 tips to save up for a down payment. You do your long form video at the end. You can do a quick wrap up, and then that could be your TikTok clip. Or you could just open up your TikTok, record after your video's done, record like what did I remember the most, and record a quick 15-second clip.
That's a good idea.
Katie, what are some ways that you're utilizing, short clips and the I guess limitations that TikTok has on the amount of time that you can record something? How are you utilizing TikTok in that way?
So I don't want Candice to feel bad, because I actually do create a lot of content from scratch. And for my TikTok, my thing is I scroll like a lot of people. You'll hear a lot of jokes like TikTok is so addictive and you're just sitting there scrolling. For me, when I scroll through, I'm constantly finding inspiration and ideas for myself, because a lot of the trends can translate very easily into personal finance. I have to admit, I have made one dancing video, and that was because I paid off a student loan and I thought this was an appropriate time to dance to Doja Cat. And I did, but only when it was appropriate. I think it's very easy to translate these short video ideas that are already on the site into personal finance content. And I think also what Martin says, speaking in those sound bites, you take a very small idea, you kind of just expand on it for 1 minute. You want the very last thing for you to say to be the main takeaway, because you want people to make it all the way to the end of the minute video, because like he said, 15 seconds, you can usually hold people's attention, but even the 1 minute videos, it's kind of hard to keep people's attention on the site.
I see it like a movie commercial, you know, like a movie's like, it could be 2-3 hours long, but the commercial's like a minute. So like I link to my Instagram, my YouTube, my TikTok, like I mentioned. So this 15 seconds, like a commercial for you to come into my world, and hopefully you like what you hear, then you want to watch more, hopefully.
People binge, like they will go through and binge your whole library if they like what you are saying, or your movie commercial, like Martin said. Like it's trying to get people to click that avatar button to go to your profile, because then that's how you accumulate views. That's how you're encouraging people to look at all your content. And then obviously we want them to become a follower so they can get updates on what you're making.
And sorry, one last thing. TikTok is very addictive. I ran into somebody recently, and it's a couple of my, they're a couple, they're dating, they're friends of mine, and they say that the one day they were just hanging out on the couch, they found my TikTok, and they just watched all my videos. It feels kind of weird when someone tells you that, but like, it's meant to be like addictive. It's meant for people to get hooked and just watch everything, because it's 15 seconds, right? So you can watch like a whole feed in like less than an hour.
Yeah. Candice, do you feel like Instagram is like that? I feel like when you get into the search or explore section on an Instagram, I don't know why, but I apparently follow a lot of hairstylists on Instagram, and I just get addicted to watching people comb hair and like have rainbow crazy hair. Do you feel like the same kind of addiction format is relevant to Instagram? And what are some ways that you think you could like penetrate into having addictive content?
Yeah, I do feel like you can lose time on Instagram as well. So yeah, definitely have to be careful. I'll try to make sure I'm going on there after my main important tasks are done for the day. But I feel like when it comes to, wait, I just forgot what you asked me.
How do you make addictive content for Instagram?
How do you make addictive content for Instagram? I feel like, yeah, I like what Katie was saying, just paying attention to like what's going on of other people's feed, like what's inspiration is trending, what memes are trending, like what's going on in the world, and how can I relate this back to what's going on right now? Because I feel like when Jada and Will Smith came out with their Red Table Talk and talking about entanglement was just everywhere. Like as soon as the video dropped, like I was saying entanglement, everywhere I looked, there was entanglement. Yeah. So people are just like moving so fast.
And I think that's just the nature of social media content. Like it all moves so fast. And I always think of this Lightning McQueen quote from Disney Channel movie or Disney movie, because I'm a mom. And like, if you don't, like, life will pass you by if you don't slow down and take the time to watch what's happening. And I think like that the whole concept applies to social media as a whole. Like you need to slow down and look at what's happening, the social issues around you, the information, the news that's coming out, and then be able to say, all right, now I'm going to fast pace move through and begin creating content or finding content I've already created and really utilize it to fit within this subject matter that is relevant right now, that people need to hear about and talk about. And I think, you know, that comes to our final question of like making video content for your audience. You know, we've all said a variety of different things. Like Katie focuses on creating fresh new content for her people on TikTok, and Martin reutilizes stuff that he's had before and creates new content, and Candice, you're reutilizing some of the content you've had across the board as well and creating new stuff. You know, what are your guys' recommendations, and what are your personal preferences for content creation? Do you, and we'll say that, and then let's tell me some of the tools that you're using, like Canva and whatnot, to create that content outside of TikTok.
So for the record, I don't just recycle. I just say that because a lot of people are very intimidated by TikTok. So I say, you already have enough videos. Like literally, if you go through your phone, you probably have like 1,000 videos.
Yeah.
Like when I first got on there, I'm like, I have nothing. And I looked at my phone, I'm like, well, I've gone skydiving, I've got mini golfing. These are all the cool things. I could just post these things. Mm-hmm. But ideally, you want to be like fresh. You're not going to post like a skiing video in July. But the tools, I use this tool called InShot. I don't know if you guys have heard of that from editing.
Yeah.
And that usually does enough. And then I use Fiverr to have my graphics done because I have no graphic ability. I know that Canva works, but there's a guy who does 3 graphics for $5. I mean, that's not really worth, that's not even worth mentioning. $5 for 3 graphics for 3 different images. And the content is, you have to be topical. You have to go with what's happening with your audience. Like if you're talking about side hustles, you know, like right now, a lot of people lost their jobs. So you might want to do more side hustle talk. You're not going to talk about vacations, for example. So you have to really be listening to your audience, listen to all the questions, listen to what people say in real life over the phone, and just be a part of the conversation. Don't just lecture from the top of the mountain. Listen and then react, you know, and then try to help people based on your experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a great point. For me, I try when I'm creating content, I try not to just film one video at a time. Like I try to have a set day where I'm filming at least 2 or 3 videos. So that way, that way I'm not just like getting done for just one day. I'm putting all this makeup on, I'm just gonna do one video. So like just trying to have days where I'm planning content. Like this is just my content planning day. And then also like, paying attention to what's going on. If you don't have a large audience, you can also just pull from other people's audience and see who's asking questions. Like you can go to other top financial experts, look through their Instagram comments or look through their Facebook groups. What are other people asking them? And you can learn a lot just by seeing what other people are talking about, even if they're not in your specific audience, and then create content around that too.
So I would definitely say know the ecosystem or how your profiles like on the different social media platforms react to your content. Like I said before, a lot of my debt-free tracker videos, they usually stay on TikTok because that's where they get a lot of the views. But I'll actually get more views on my like budget humor TikToks when I share them to Instagram, because people will actually say, when's the next video coming out? I can't wait for the TikTok. I call it TikTok o'clock. So I'll go, hey, it's TikTok o'clock. And then I'll share the video and people get really excited. So people really enjoy that kind of humor on Instagram. So I use an app called Splice. I usually 95% of my TikTok content is made in the app, but when I have actual standalone videos that I create outside of the app, I use Splice, and that kind of just edits them together. It doesn't do anything fancy. I would also suggest for TikTok, don't take just the basic TikTok. You want analytics when you are on TikTok, because this is another business account. So I believe it's called a pro account. You do want to have that as an option, because analytics are going to tell you when people are viewing your videos, what videos are actually increasing in views and decreasing, how many, like what percentage of gender is looking at your videos. They'll tell you, men are looking more at your videos, or women or whoever. And I would just say, just keep making the content you want to make and then sharing it on the platform that's going to appreciate it the most.
I love that you call it TikTok o'clock. That's both genius and adorable. I love it. And we did have a question about TikTok Pro, so you totally answered it. And I think like when it comes to any social media account, making sure that your account is set up to track and analyze every single bit of data coming in is incredibly vital. I am a huge lover of Sprout Social, because outside of TikTok, it encompasses all of your social media analytics into one easy to read, clear, concise, and consistent analytical report. And you can connect your Google Analytics to it too. So if you are pushing people from your TikTok to your Instagram, and your Instagram, that is, to your website, you can see which platform is actually performing better, and how can I really harness the power of the platform that's outperforming the other while still giving love and attention and nurturing my presence on another. Candice, did you have any of your favorite tools and resources that you use for content creation, management, and all of that?
Yes, so tools, I already mentioned Canva for creating templates for graphics. I just use Premiere Pro to edit my videos because I'm already paying for the Adobe Creative Suite platform. I'm trying to think of any other tools that I'm using. No, not really. Yeah, it's just it's just usually Canva, and then I'm just editing the videos in Premiere Pro.
Yeah, I think Adobe products, for those who want to take it to the next level and go big and bold with their content creation, Adobe products are really, really great. Monthly subscriptions are relatively inexpensive, and throughout the pandemic, they've been really flexible on their pricing and helping people manage their plans so that they can still stay in business and create content. They also have an entire suite of mobile friendly apps. Like Lightroom is one that is frequently used by Instagram people, influencers, etc. There's lots of different things that you can use to edit your photos directly on your phone. Later is another social media management software that I sincerely and deeply love as well. And I'll rattle off, I use so many and test so many different tools. I'll rattle off a couple of them. There's an app called 2020 where you can take your Instagram photos and sell them. So you can make money doing that. There's also Unfold, Mix, Mojo. I love using Mojo to create cool, fun, engaging 15-second clips, which I'm probably going to use for TikTok now going forward instead of Instagram. There's also a design kit, Clip-O-Matic, Photoshop Express, Repost, which is how people are able to repost photos onto their Instagram. You can also repost photos utilizing Planoly and Later. You just have to select the share an Instagram link or use an Instagram link. There's also Cut Story, Hype, and then there's Canva for mobile, but I prefer Canva on desktop. It's much more user-friendly and versatile. There are tons and tons. There are literally hundreds of different tools that you can use for TikTok and Instagram. And I'm happy to like put links and everything in the comments of our Facebook Live when this is all done. But in terms of like the tools and the resources and the content we're creating, my final question is about how do I identify my audience? Like this is a question a lot of people tend to struggle with. What are the tactics you guys are utilizing to find your audience so that you can better understand the kind of content you should be creating?
Oh, I was just saying out loud, that's a really good question for TikTok.
Oh, okay.
It's such a grab bag sometimes because I'm sure you've heard about hashtags. Hashtags are so wild on TikTok because I'll use, debt-free community, personal finance. I'll use a lot of those kinds of hashtags, but then you'll see the trending hashtags. You're like, I guess I'll click, I've got game, like add that on just in case. And what I've noticed is TikTok identifies the sound and the effects that you're using because they want to encourage people to use the effects that are available within the app. So the video creator within Canva or within TikTok is super powerful. That's the reason why I make a lot of my content in the actual TikTok like video creator. So the algorithm will take what you're making. They'll say, wow, this looks similar to content that's very popular. I'm going to push this out to a lot of people. And then people will come and say, oh, I love this. I want to know this. And that's how I'm identifying my audience on TikTok. It's through the comments. And another suggestion I want to list off is write the first comment on your story every single time you make a post. Like write the first comment, because that's where you're going to encourage engagement in your TikTok videos. So write the first comment, which can be like, man, I was having this skit was inspired by this, or I can't believe we paid off this loan. And that will encourage people to actually interact with you, engage with your comment, engage with the video. So that's kind of how I'm trying to find my audience is first I make the content I love, the content I want to see, and then I read people's comments and I read their reactions.
So your audience, this is something I always stress that everyone figure out before they create content. We've been doing this for a while, so we've been to all these events and stuff. But if you're listening right now, you really need to sit down and just write down who your ideal user is. You have to know their wants, their needs. I know it sounds lame, what scares them, what excites them. You have to know exactly who they are. And every piece of content that you make is not for 1 million people; it's for one person. So it's for that one person, and so you have to know everything not everything about them. You have to know who that customer is. And then if you can reach one, if that one person will share, then it'll be a ripple effect. And a lot of people, they just don't know who their audience is, they're talking about this and that. I know it's easy for me to say, I'm all over the place myself, but when I create something, I know exactly who it's for. So sometimes, when you do that, obviously the one negative is that people will be like, well, this isn't for me. Well, it's yeah, I know it's not for you. It's for these people. It's for this group, or it's for, you should have the user in mind always.
Yes, I agree. Definitely have the user in mind all the time. And I also feel that creating an avatar, and sometimes I just feel like I'm creating content for me, people that are like me, because even when I was like sharing my personal finance journey, like I'm sharing like what I'm going through, and then that gathered other people who were also going through that same thing. And I think when I did create an avatar, so I'm trying to attract this one person, but just because I'm trying to attract this one person doesn't mean that I'm not going to attract other people that are still interested in what I have to say. So I think sometimes we don't want to narrow it down, but I think that if you are specific, you're still going to grow and people are still going to be attracted to you. So yeah, just create content for like that one person, also content that you want to create yourself, and then yeah, just kind of like sharing your own journey, and I feel like you will grow.
I find, sorry, I need to say this. I find a lot of people, they cast such a wide net because they're afraid of losing people, but then instead they catch nothing, right? You know?
Yeah. And that's such a, like, you mentioned avatars, Candice, and like that, to avoid casting a wide net, to be the people pleaser of your platform, having a customer avatar and creating several different versions of them and really understanding which one of those is applicable to the platform that you're working on is the right way to go about it. I definitely say I'm a little bit of a traditionalist in the sense of like when I'm creating a content strategy, I create customer avatars, I create customer segments, groups, and really understand like their age, their sex, their sexual orientation, depending on the content that I'm creating, their financial background, educational background, because the way that you talk to one person or one segment is totally different than the segment that you're going to be speaking to that might be younger. They're not going to understand or have any interest in like the technical aspects of stock market numbers and how to find the best stocks. Like those are going to be the more elevated, the more educated, or those who are genuinely interested in becoming educated. So there is a really great, from Digital Marketer, a customer avatar sheet that is super easy and simple to follow. You guys may have seen it out there. I'll share the link to that as well, because it is my favorite customer avatar template to use.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. I took one of their courses a long time ago, and I like totally learned so much about customer avatars and how important they are. And that's where my traditionalist thinking comes from. All right. Any final parting words on TikTok or Instagram?
So I do want to just jump right back on what you were talking about, Sarah, just really fast. So the thing is, when you are creating content with your user in mind for TikTok, the great thing about the TikTok algorithm is that if your video finds one of the users that you were thinking of and they comment on that video, because of the algorithm's way of connecting users, it will then share your video with someone that's similar to the person that commented on your video. So that is how it's going to shoot out into your community, because if you hit one of your users and they comment on it, they like it, they follow you, it's going to find a bunch of people that are just like them and send that video to their For You pages. So you definitely can use that to your advantage on TikTok.
Ooh, that's awesome. I feel like I could talk to you for hours about just that one data point. Like that is so powerful to know. Thank you for sharing that. Anyway, so I'm going to rephrase my last question. My last question is actually this: your final judgment, TikTok or Instagram? It's hard to choose just one.
I don't want to answer. I love both. They're both my children now. Both accounts are my babies. I feel like it's comparing apples to oranges, right? Like my fun kid where I can like be silly and make stuff, but Instagram's my serious child, but he makes me money and like I love him for that. So I feel like it depends on the day. If I'm in a fun mood, it's TikTok. If I'm like in a serious but like we got to get business done, it's definitely Instagram.
I'll say Instagram because it's still easier to use and it's still more established. Like everyone's on there as opposed to TikTok where it's, not everyone's on there yet. Yeah, I'll go with Instagram. Easier to edit, easier to, so many cool new features with the IGTV stories and, close friends and easier to stay in touch. Can't go wrong with Instagram.
Yeah, I'm still on the Instagram bandwagon, but I think that maybe as time goes on, people are going to start migrating to TikTok. So I'm still just trying to have my foot in both places. Oh, somebody asked about hashtags on TikTok videos. Yeah.
I think, Martin, you had mentioned something about that.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a lot to say about this. I'll make it, a soundbite. Yes. hashtags are key. So if something's trending and you have a video on that, or you can make a video on that, you're set. Like during quarantine, a lot of like home gym and fitness stuff was trending, and it turned out that I was doing a lot of home gym stuff. So that was super easy. And yeah, so try to track what's popular. Like TikTok shows you what's like the trending hashtags. And if you think you can make a killer video on that topic, go for it. You know, it's only 15 seconds. You're losing of your life. So yeah, you look for popular hashtags and try to dominate it. You know, it's not always going to work, but there's times where it does. And then you get like a couple 100,000 views in a week, and it's pretty amazing.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So we're going to go one by one, and I'd like for you guys to tell the people where they can find you. Katie, tell us where all the people can follow you and love on you.
So I have two profiles. I have an Instagram account called Debt Free Phoenix. I also have a small business account called Olivine Alert, one word. And I obviously am on TikTok at Debt Free Phoenix. And I'm officially changing my answer to TikTok. I am a TikTok. Since we have two Instagram people, I'm going to be TikTok. That's where you can find me.
Martin, how about you? Where can the people find you?
So my TikTok is just very general still, even though I make specific videos. It's just Martin Dasko at TikTok. My main Instagram is Martin Feast. Funny story, of all the things I've ever tried, people wanted to know the most about my fitness, so that's what took off. But I'm also at Studenomics if you like personal finance.
And Candice, tell us where all the people can find you.
Yes, you guys can find me on Instagram at everything Candice _Latham, and I'm the same name on TikTok. And I just posted my first TikTok comment after Katie said that. I was like, oh, let me go post a comment under my video.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. This has been a really fun conversation, and I personally have learned so much more about TikTok that I think Candice can agree with me on this. We're definitely going to go hit TikTok. Thank you guys again for coming on the Plutus Foundation webinar series. Today, we learned how to leverage TikTok and Instagram and have learned so much more about it. Go get your TikTok Pro account, get those analytics, use your Instagram business account or creator account, and make content that fits your audience's needs. Have a wonderful night, you guys. Thank you so much again.